Hello, my name is Oscar Rodriguez, and today I'm talking about with the project circuit element for my subject electrical and electronic circuit. Okay, the objective in that practice is understand the function, the element of the circuit, and calculate the values to resistance and capacity. Okay, well, we started with the timer. It's very common devices, and these devices produce a variety of output wave voltage from. And well, it's very simple to use. It's very little, and you can put only the protocol with a simple arrangement about the capacitor and resistor, and you produce a little timer, and you can see with a little LED. Okay, we can explain the inside about this device. Is the timer. You divide the different blocks. For the first is the ground, the second the trigger, the third is the output, for the reset, for the high voltage of control, the threshold, discharge, and the supply. The ground and the supply put with the negative, in this case the ground, and the positive voltage in the protocol. The second is the trigger. Okay, in this is very important because if you have the monostable circuit, you put here a push button, because the trigger to produce to a signal and to make a flip-flop, then you exit with the delivery to output, and the output you make to a high voltage is a convert we have to low or high voltage in the third. The fourth is only to reset if you use the flip-flops, and the 5 voltage is the same to put in the other amplifier and to making the flip-flop. The threshold is very important because the threshold you inside with the second optoelectronics, and very important. At the discharge only discharge the transistor inside of the devices, and well, the 8 is the supply. Okay. On the other hand, it's very important to understand the Kirchhoff law, because we have two laws. The first law is the Kirchhoff current law, and it's very simple because the total current or charge entering area nodal is exactly equal to 0. And you can see in this image, you can do different intensities and add in this intersection in this kind of point, but you add by the intensity, the produce is equal to 0. Okay, and the second is the Kirchhoff voltage. And this kind of mesh is very simple to understand because it's to a circuit. You produce a little mesh inside, because around the devices produce to a square or different figure. It's not important the figure. The important is in this kind you produce a voltage, and you can with this voltage you can found the intensity have in this mesh. Okay, but the law is very simple. Is the add the different voltage around the mesh, and that voltage is equal to 0. Okay. We use to a protocol internet the timer, UTP wire, 2 LEDs, capacitor, the 220 millifarads and 100 millifarads. Okay. 3 resistors. The first 100 kilo ohms resistor, 22 kilo ohms, and the 220 kilo ohms. Okay. It's very easy to put because you have two circuits. The first is the monostable, is that. You can see you don't have to limitation. In the trigger you make to a little signal and start that. This is very easy to understand because the monostable only have one resistor. In this resistor you can make to a timer if you multiply with the capacitor and 1.1. This is the formula to produce the timer. Well, the stable is very different because in that you don't have to push button in the second. In the second is directly with the 6, and in this 6 to make to a reset in the circuit, and don't have to use to a push button to produce the signal. Well, the part 3 you put a LED and you can see if has to a light or not. It's very easy to understand. In the first circuit you make has 4 meshes and 6 nodules. In the second circuit you has 5 meshes and 9 nodules. This is the circuit in the physics. You can see the capacitors run, you can see the timers, you can see the LEDs. Well, this is the stable in the left, and the right is the monostable. Okay. In conclusion, It's very important to understand the law of Kirchhoff, and because it's very easy to understand the circuit and what happened inside of the circuit. And for other hand, it's very important to understand you have to a different devices and understand, but it's very simple in this kind of circuit. For example, with the monostable, to understand if you have a push button, you produce a signal, and that signals to make to intensity, and that intensity you produce in different parts of the circuit, that intensity. But in the stable, you don't have to push button, but you always have the current. Okay, this is a little scheme about the two circuit. In the left is a monostable and the right to a stable. If I put a graphic in the bottom, you can see the different properties with the function that occur, and you can see in blue with the stable, and you can to see in the red the monostable. If I push the push button, produce a signal and start. In a few seconds you learn this is the stable, the blue, and the monostable is the red. This is the function about that. If I don't put the push button, the signal red is equal. I need to push and understand and start the concern about that. Okay. Well, this is all for me, and I reference 3 books on electronic circuit, 1 datasheet, and 1 2 AAA. This is all. Thank you.